I think Off the Record is such a great album, and it's recently out as well. I know going back though that people just tend to describe your music as country, but is there a way that you often describe it?
You know, I would say I love me some 90s country, which is where I'm really trying to get back to, like to my roots with that. And so I think through making the album, we kind of went through like a trial of finding me in that type of music, which you can kind of tell some of them are like very honky tonk 90s, and some of them are a little more like current sounding. And so I definitely want to go, you know, moving forward. And with some of the songs on the album, I wanted to go and find me in that. And so, like, going forward, we're going to be doing a lot of very country music, which I'm very excited about.
I love that you have so many 90s influences in the music that you make. Who are some artists that help shape the musician you are today?
Well, Shania Twain is a huge one. Just love Shania's music, as well as Martina McBride and Faith Hill. Martina is like specifically one that I really listened to a lot. Growing up, especially in like middle and high school, probably more high school. But I used to cover a lot of Martina's stuff. And they're probably like top three as far as that. Also, Carrie Underwood is a huge um influences for me as well. She's like, I saw her win American Idol, when I was younger, and then I saw her at her Blown Away tour when I was 12, and I was like, yep, that's what I want to do, like that right there. And so ever since that tour, the Blown Away tour in 2012, that's like been my dream, been my goal. So I really owe a lot to Carrie for that.
Well, hopefully one day you'll get to duet with her and even thank her for helping
Please,
you
I
to.
hope so.
I love Off the Record, and it's the title track. The title of the album is one of the names of the songs on this actual album. And I think it's a great format for the title. I think it's great inspiration for it. What was it about the song, though, Off the Record that truly said, okay, yes, I want this one for the title as well?
It's actually kind of funny. I did not want the album to be titled a name of the song or like a name of a song. I really didn't. I was like, I think it's cool when people have a name of an album that's not a song, and that they come up with something to encapsulate the whole thing. And for months, I was like, no, like I'm not naming it something. And then with the title of that song, I was like, I am so missing an opportunity here if I do not call this album Off the Record, because it's just such a cool title. I mean, obviously the song is a murder song. So the song itself is like very singled out, I would say. Like the vibe definitely matches the album, but the storyline of it is very different and doesn't really encapsulate the whole thing, if I'm honest. I just was like, you know what? All these songs are me. They're like what I've chosen to do for this album. I hope that everyone can relate to at least one song on it. And that was just the one that I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do a song name, then we're gonna do this one because it's just the perfect title for like a full length album. I thought it was cool.
You wrote all of these songs, really, except for I Will Survive.
Yeah.
How, why was it so important for you to be so hands-on with that aspect?
Well, I think for me, I've always been primarily like the artist and the singer and performer. And I love writing as well, but for like this project, it was kind of fun to be able to challenge myself to put a project together and like reach for different um sounds and styles, and the ballads, the fun stuff, the sassy songs, all of that. So it's kind of fun to challenge myself as a writer, to be able to see what I can do. And just recently I've started writing by myself. And that's something that's taken me a long time. So going forward, um, hopefully I'll get some songs out by myself, but it's really just, I think it's fun to be able to say that I wrote this, I had this idea, and we brought it to life like this. But that being said, like, I still think it's really cool though, singing songs that I didn't write. Like I Will Survive. That song is just a fun one for me. that I've covered at lots of shows. And I was like, we're going to do a country version. And so I think it's cool to be able to sing songs that other people have written as well. And I feel honored to be able to do that, especially with that song.
When you are songwriting, do you need to have a bit of music before you can craft lyrics around it, or do the lyrics find you and then you're like, okay, it would go with this beat? What's your typical songwriting process?
Hmm. It's so different sometimes. Sometimes we have a track guy in the room, so like we'll come in and he's already got something going, like some kind of vibe or whatever, and we'll pick it. Or sometimes, like with me, I've found with songwriting, I need a guitar. I can write lyrics by themselves, but it is a lot easier to like have a little bit of melody. Melody is my strength, I feel like, in the writing room, coming up with melodies. So I feel like having my guitar and being able to like work through those helps me a lot. So it just kind of depends though on the write and who I'm writing with that day.
We talked about how hands-on you are when it comes to songwriting. What about the production side of the music you make? Are you very hands-on? Do you have much of a say in that as well?
Yeah, I feel like I am very hands-on with that. I love to like be there in the process of the production, and like I wouldn't call myself a co-producer, but I definitely love, coming up with ideas of a new sound to be thrown in, or like a fiddle part or a guitar solo. I just love being in the room. And also that way, so I can say, hey, maybe that's not the direction I was thinking. Because I do that a lot. My any producer I've worked with knows that I'll explain something really not clearly of what I'm thinking. And that's why I think it's important for me to be in the room, because I'm not a producer. I don't know how, like, the correct terms sometimes of like
Sometimes,
getting it from
yeah.
my mind
But
to
you know
my
the
mouth.
sound or the way you really want to craft it so that you can sort of tell them, no, I want a more
Yes,
twang here. Like that may not be what you, the word for what you want, or like,
exactly.
you're like, I want drums here. And they're like, okay, but what kind of drums? But
Exactly. Yep. So it's kind of hard if I'm not there. So me and Zachary Mano, he did, I think, 7 or 8 of the songs on this project. He and I like sat there and kind of built all of them together, like got the basics. And then, once we have the basics down, I can trust him to like go for it.
certainly all the songs on this album are your babies, but my favorites are Another Man Will, Visiting Hours, and certainly Hurt People Hurt, which
Thank you.
is a very true statement. Do you have any personal favorites, ones that hold a special place in your heart?
Honestly, the ones that you just said are actually some of my favorites. Another Man Will is really special to me because that was the song that we had already made like most of the album. And when we finally did that one, I was like, this is the sound that I've been looking for years. Like this, it was just so exciting because we finally found what I've been looking for. And so that one was kind of like a moment that I was very excited to have. And that, now it's kind of hard as an artist sometimes being like, here's my sound, because it takes years to like craft something and maybe you change and whatever. So that one was really special. Visiting Hours obviously is very close to me. That's one of my favorite songs I've ever written because it's about my brother and very special to me. And man, I love a lot of these songs. Shade of Blue is also one of my favorites, but I'm really connecting with a lot of ballads lately. And I Hurt People Hurt, like you said, it's just a real song. I don't know. I feel like when we were writing that, I just kind of said, I just like put in the verses exactly how I felt at times. Like, am I enough? Am I this or that, whatever. And so it just feels kind of raw and real. So I've found myself really gravitating towards those real songs, even though I love the fun, sassy songs as well.
With the album out, are you starting to play songs live? And if so, what have been some of the fans' reactions to them?
Yeah. Well, it seems like Shade of Blue is definitely a favorite, um, with audiences as well as visiting hours. I've actually been playing that song out since we wrote it for over a year now. And that one always pulls on the heartstrings of people. And I always feel bad for making people cry, but that, we can all relate to that song in some way. We've all unfortunately lost somebody. And like I said, I hate making people cry, but I feel like it's really special when you write a song that people can really relate to and feel that emotion. And that's something that's been kind of challenging for me to do. So it's just all around like one of my favorites, but that one is definitely a favorite at shows as well.
I have to ask, are you back in the studio writing and recording new music yet, or are we just still riding this beautiful wave of off the record?
Oh, thank you. Before we released it, I didn't write for like 2 months because I was just so focused on like getting it out. And which is good for me because I've found that I need a break from writing or else my ideas aren't
Sure.
as good. It's just too saturated. Like there's not enough time to get good ideas and to be like in the moment in the room. So I have been writing again. We've wrote one the other day that I am like so excited about. And we recorded a Christmas song yesterday. So I'm very excited about that. So that's going to be coming out sometime soon. But yeah, the grind never stops.
We talked about Carrie Underwood being a dream collab for you. Is there anyone else, and maybe Shania, that you would love to share a stage with? Is there someone else maybe that you would love
Yeah.
to do a duet with?
100%. I mean, there's so many, obviously, but Reba is also someone I would love to collab with, or even just meet. Like, Reba, if you see this, girl, let's go get coffee or something. But I just love Reba McEntire. I think she's so insanely talented with her acting skills and her singing. Would love to collab with her, and also Cody Johnson. I just think he's such a raw, real, and insanely talented vocalist. So would love
Absolutely.
to be able to do that.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music you continue to make?
Thank you. Well, I just want to say thank you for listening to the album. If you haven't listened, please go check it out. Being an independent artist, it's kind of scary putting out a full-length record like this. And I really went back and forth about it for a long time, and I have had like nerve-wracking feelings about it for months. Just because like if it flops, that sucks, but also it's kind of like I just got to go for it. So to the fans who have like supported me from the beginning and also new fans who have found the album and have loved it, just thank you for listening and know that it means the world to me, y'all listening to my music and connecting. And I just hope that I'm able to write music that people can really feel in their soul. So yeah.